Be like, thank God that's over with.
We'll be like, all right, when are we doing that again?
And we will be doing that again. The weekly Pet Talks with Ryan Pepiot during the baseball season.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited about it,
yeah.
man.
There we go.
Yep.
Lock it in.
And we appreciate that because we know how busy you are, and depending upon your schedule, I mean, you're going to be available to us and to all the fans for the insight that you bring, despite what some people may or may not think on the Bartow 4 DA text platform.
We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna figure out where we can do the show from. Like we already got Fenway bleachers.
Yeah,
I've gotten on the field of Houston while they're setting up Ichiro's retirement. We're gonna try to check off some more ballparks. I'm gonna hit ballpark number 30 this year for me, opening day at St. Louis. That's the finisher for me. So
that's the last park that you've never played in.
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna check them all off.
That'll be checked all. I'll be done.
That's the first weekly pep talk right there.
First weekly pep talk.
Unless you could be the opening day starter again.
Not my decision. Above my pay grade.
Yes, it is.
I will take the ball when they tell me to take the ball.
Listen to you. I mean, you should run for office.
Absolutely not.
So, you were the opening day guy last year. Now, Shane McClanahan, good friend, right?
Yes, very good friend.
Condolences to Shane. He lost his dad recently, and obviously, I've been down that road. Actually, next month will be 2 years since my dad has passed. So certainly understand what he's going through. Thoughts and prayers to Shane and his family. But he has been working out, throwing.
Yep.
You've talked to him. He looks good.
Yeah, he looks real good. He's throwing pretty good. Feeling pretty good. No issues from what I've heard. So I'll be with him this weekend. So I'll get the insider scoop.
Okay.
There's a little group of us, me, Ian Seymour, Junior Caminero, and Shane McClanahan are going to the what do they call it? Stadium Series game.
The outdoor game.
Game. Lightning Bruins on Sunday. Very excited for it to freeze out there, but to cheer on the boys. But we're gonna go. We're gonna be a little crew there and have a good old time. So I'll get the inside scoop from Shane. Obviously condolences to him and his family. But from what I've heard, everything looks good. Obviously the videos I've seen him throwing just looks electric, just like normal. I'm just excited to see him back out there. It was so much excitement and so much hype around last year for him to come back and seeing how he was throwing, for him to take the ball opening day over again. Now, that was just one of the weirdest injuries I think could ever have happened, where it was just the nerve just wouldn't heal, and then when he would get close, it just would flare up and stuff like that. There was just so many unknowns that even he didn't know, the doctors didn't know. It was just a weird one, and just couldn't. It was to the point where it's like, don't push it. You get healthy. Understand he went through all the progressions at the end of the season. Went through an off season healthy is exactly what he wanted, and he's coming into spring feeling good.
That's awesome. So he had some sort of procedure, I guess, to clean it up around the nerve or something like that, like right toward the end of last year.
Yeah, I think it was something towards the end. It was just like a little cleanup, and it was just supposed to like a stress reliever or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot more medical terms that I know, and I have no idea what it's exactly called, but it was something just to relieve all that, and then just so for feeling purposes, I guess.
Yeah, it was a rare injury for him to go through, and he's feeling good. I've seen the videos. You said he's feeling good. I mean, you get him back, and all of a sudden you've got a starting rotation that can tangle with anybody. Between you, him, Drew Rasmussen, by the way, scheduled to join us at 6 o'clock here on the program.
Oh, yeah. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. And who am I leaving out? Steven Matz. Yep. Steven Matz, and maybe Joe Boyle is the number 5, right?
Yep.
Am I missing anybody?
Ian Seymour,
he'll be thrown into the mix, but between McClanahan and Matz, the two lefties, you and Drew, the two righties, maybe Boyle is the 5, and maybe Ian Seymour can be sprinkled in. That's not bad at all, man.
No. And we're going to have a little bit of a mix. You're going to have right and left, different arm actions, different arm angles, guys pitching differently, which, bodes well for us, having different looks, making hitters see different things. And it's not going to be, 5 righties when I came out the past couple of years. So, go out there with a little bit of mix. Maybe we go right, left, right. I don't know. Above my pay grade questions again, but it'll be, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just excited to get back with the guys again next week and the week after that, and get going again.
As you just said that, I started writing some things down.
Write it down, Kevin Cash, because you might be able to pencil in, McClanahan, Pepiot, Matz, Rasmussen, righty, lefty. You can stagger the rotation, so you got a lot of different combinations there. All right, so the new Rays Stadium, hot topic of conversation. Ken Babby, the CEO, a guy that you have spent some time to, you've talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned on a podcast, and we're trying to get him on the show, that, they, meaning new owners, are ready to write a big check. His exact quote was, "We're going to do our part. We're going to write a big check. We've already written one big check to buy the team. We're going to write another one to build a ballpark." That's probably going to be a really big check because, according to initial estimates, $2.3 billion is the price tag. I think that might be a little on the low side, and we'll find out, because the longer you wait,
the more expensive it gets.
Thank you very much, Chris Mathis. So we'll find out what that ends up looking like, and now they're starting to have the conversations with the people on the Tampa side. So as a player, you're watching this, you're hearing this, you're reading the report just like everybody else. I mean, what say you on this?
Oh, it's exciting. Who knows how big that check's going to be. But, it's exciting just to have something like going towards it. Obviously the last stadium deal went through, which everyone was excited about. And then now, back in the Trop this year, back home, where we get to play, and then finding the new home. And, just trying to, talking to Ken, the ownership group's really excited, and they're just excited to get going and be in the area and fully embrace being part of the Tampa Bay region. And, just exciting to see what they can come up with. Honestly, I have nothing else information-wise that I know everybody else knows. So, just following the reports like everyone else says. $2.3 billion, is that, my only question is, I know they're trying to use the 100 acres for a whole lot of other stuff.
Right.
Is that just for the ballpark, or is that everything?
I think from what the Tampa Bay Times has reported, it's just the cost estimate for the stadium, not including the surrounding development. So we're talking about a much bigger project, probably worth a few more billion.
Yeah, because I saw the renderings for the Hillsborough College.
Mm-hmm.
It looked awesome. It looked really cool.
Very cool. We haven't seen any renderings yet for the future stadium. I'm really interested in seeing that.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to look some futuristic, very cool, probably like a mixture of maybe Globe Life Field in Dallas and maybe kind of like the renderings of what Vegas has going. Just try to take the cool things from a lot of the ballparks and add it in. But, also at the same time, they're developers and real estate people, and they're going to use the rest of the surrounding areas to build in revenue, so that's a year-round thing. So it's not just for our 81 home games.
Right. So, and that conversation's now just starting on this side of it with the mayor and the Tampa Sports Authority and the Hillsborough County Commission and Tampa City Council. So all those entities will get involved at some point, but this is just the beginning. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. 2029 seems very ambitious to me, and I thought that when I sat in that press conference room when the new owners, were introduced, and they said 2029, I'm like, boy, they're going to have to really get on their high horse unless they know something that we don't know. It does seem a little ambitious to me.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little bit ambitious. We've talked about it. The Braves did their stadium in 37 months. So technically by 2029, they'd have to have a ballpark breaking ground by end of February. Yeah, very ambitious because that's a month from now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time believing if you've bought a team for $1.7 billion, you don't have a lot of things lined up. Now, getting the plot of land, getting all the permits and all that stuff, yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it than I think even I know or anybody else knows. But I'm sure if you're buying a team for that much money, you have a certain idea, or you might have plans in place once you can get going. You're like, okay, this is what it's going to be if we – because they probably buying the team, they knew, all right, this is one location, this is a possible another location, here's another one. Here's the renderings for position A, here's renderings for here and another spot. I'd have to imagine that would be where they're heading if you're spending that kind of money.
Yeah, look, they're smart people. Patrick Zalupski is a real estate guy, so he understands exactly the process and what it would entail in order for it to work. I'm interested in seeing what the next step is. I just know that under the previous ownership, it was 0 for 4. This is the 5th try at it. And I'm just here to say, guys, that there probably will not be a 6th shot at this. So we need to make sure that, we take advantage of this opportunity, the 5th time that we're trying to do this, the first time under the new owners, because I don't know if there will be a 6th time. I'll just leave it at that. All right, Ryan Pepiot's with me. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll get more with Ryan Pepiot on the return to the Trop. Plus, there is news regarding the Buccaneers. Are they interested in a former head coach who just got terminated? Details on that next, too.